Hi, everybody. I'm here to read chapter 19 of Poppy. If you haven't listened to chapter 18 yet, which I posted on Friday, make sure you go ahead and do that first. You don't want to miss it, it's really important. So, now I've given that little introduction. Hopefully, you've had time to go over and do that if you didn't do. And with that, this is chapter 19, The Return. For a long time, Poppy gazed at the lifeless body of Mr. Oakhax. She thought she should be feeling triumphant joy. Plain gladness would have been good enough. Somewhere she did feel pride, but small, very deep. What Poppy felt was weariness, as if she had aged 4 seasons over the last hour. She felt old. Before her on the grass lay one of Mr. Oakhax's feathers. Poppy had never really looked at an owl's feather. This one was quite lovely. It was mottled brown colored with white tuft on top, soft as any baby's breath. She picked it up. In the breeze, the veins stirred slightly. With a sigh, Poppy slipped the feather into her sash. Then she turned and looked at the cornfield. At first she thought what she most desired was to lie down and sleep. It was growing dark, but a moment's thought made her realize sleep was impossible. What she needed to do was tell someone about her discoveries and what had happened. She crossed the dirt road and moved along the edge of the forest. There was enough of the porcupine's lingering scent for Poppy to find the trail that Aerith had used to go from his home to the field. For once, and it made her smile wanly, she was grateful for the old fellow's stink. Plunging directly into Dimwood Forest, Poppy traveled slowly, methodically, taking the time for proper precautions. Now and again she paused to absorb the lush view, the way moonlight filtered through the fragrant air, a very tall tree, a particularly beautiful fern, a bush laden with blackberries as big as her head. When Poppy reached Aerith's log, she paused long enough to contemplate Mr. Oakhax's now abandoned snag. Who, she wondered, would live in it now? Aerith, she called into the log from the entryway. Are you home? Aerith! In response, there was some scratching and snorting deep within. That you, Aerith? Who the snail squirt is that? Came the growled reply. Can't a creature have any privacy around here? Beat it, unless you want to eat a quill sandwich. Aerith, it's me, Poppy. Who? Don't you remember? Poppy. Poppy, came the echo with more enthusiasm than before. A great rattling and shuffling could be heard. Then Aerith's grisly, flat face doomed out of the darkness. That really you, girl? Where is it? Where is what? The salt. Didn't you bring it? Aerith, it's about Mr. Oakhax. I don't give a flea's flick for that owl. Where's there? By Newhouse, all broken up on the ground. On the ground? Aerith shrieked. What's it doing there? Aerith, I couldn't carry it, and besides, on the ground? Great snail swoggle! It'll melt to nothing. The porcupine came barreling by so fast Poppy had to leap aside. The next moment he was all but running down the trail. Can I sleep here? Poppy called after him. Can't stop to talk, Aerith called back, and indeed he was gone. Poppy stepped into the log, lay down, and was asleep at once. She slept until the sun was high. When she woke, Aerith had not yet returned, so she went out, found some seeds, ate them, returned to the log, and slept again until dusk. This time, when she awoke, Aerith was there. He was chewing, in a roisterous, slobbering way, on a chunk of salt. Hello, Poppy said. Aerith didn't even look up. Delicious! Best salt I've ever had. He licked his lips. Awesome. Then you got some of it? Some of it? All of it. I'm just about ossified. This is the last bit. It was all pure, wonderful salt. Absolutely delicious. Amazing. Divine. Aerith? What's that? Did you see Mr. Oh, yeah, him. Dead. What happened? Poppy told him. The porcupine, though busy with the salt, slowed his slobbering to listen. When Poppy finished her story, she asked Aerith, What do you think? Aerith shook his head. Never thought I'd appreciate that owl's hard head. But if what you say is full, he broke up the salt lick. Really, Poppy, it's incredible stuff. Want some? I mean, a small taste? Aerith, what's that? I'm going home now. May I come back and visit? Sure, Poppy, sure, any time, and bring some salt. I'm going now. Poppy! What? You're the salt of the earth. Poppy crossed Glitter Creek by using the bridge. The rest of the way she traveled by the side of the tar road. By the time she reached Grey House, it was late. The first thing she noticed was that the red flag was flying. She climbed the porch steps slowly. Instead of going right inside, she took a peek. The entire family was gathered at the front parlor. Longwort stood atop the old straw hat, apparently in the middle of a speech. And so, dear friends, we will have to break up the family. Yes, disperse. Go our separate ways. Forage on our own. There is insufficient food for us here. But first, I wish to engage in a brief memorial tribute to our full family. Poppy? Is that you, Poppy? She stepped inside. All the mice turned to stare. Poppy gazed at them evenly. Then she pulled the feather, Mr. Oakhax's feather, from her sash and held it aloft for all to see. Mr. Oakhax is dead, she said solemnly. And I can tell you that Newhouse is right next to a big field of corn that has enough food to feed us all forever and ever. Oh, Poppy, Longwort cried triumphantly. Didn't I say that if you listened to my advice, all would be well? Here's a picture of Longwort and the mice family. And that's where I'm going to stop for today. I will read the last chapter of Poppy tomorrow. But Poppy and the rest of the mice family are certainly in a better place than when we left off. So she has happily returned home and announced that Mr. Oakhax is dead and that they will have enough food to survive. So great news for the mice. All right, have a great day, guys.